we are live, and I know some of you guys were worried to start off with. We're just a couple minutes late here tonight. You're going to have to excuse us. We had some, how do we want to qualify those? Just some
Technical difficulties.
technical difficulties.
100%.
Actually, what it was is I guess I pressed a button down that I wasn't supposed to press a button down at some point during the weekend. We just want to make sure we had microphones for you guys. But welcome to the live wall tonight, everybody. It's Tuesday night, doing our little pre-storm episode, our pre-Trump speech episode, just whatever you want to call it. We're here tonight. So we're going to talk about fishing and tournament fishing. It's what kind of popped up into our minds because there's so many different tournaments going on now. All three of your majors are starting with the NPFL this week. You had tournaments like the Spro tournament on Gunnersville. I fished a tournament on Allatoona this weekend. So we want to talk tournaments, get your guys' thoughts on them a little bit. And, of course, we'll talk any kind of fishing you guys want to do, of course, as always. So make sure you bring your questions in your comments. I will say this. Let me go ahead and qualify this. Is that I don't want to really get caught up in the drama as much of the tournaments. Okay? There's other channels for that now. We can answer the simple stuff, but I don't want to get in a big hoo-ha-ha over certain things. We might can talk about info rules and stuff like that, but just particular anglers, I don't think. You want to do that, Dave?
Not really.
Not really? Me neither. So let's go ahead. Let's take care of business first and get our fine sponsors. Of course, we got Trent and the guys over at Sonar Pros, the official sonar installer of the live well, 770-530-4505 off Highway 369. If you want it done right the first time, you take it to where the pros go, and that is Sonar Pros. So we appreciate those guys. And, of course, the Megalodon catcher, Kevin Underwood with Lipsticker Fishing, 678-459-8419. Check out his Patreon, patreon.com/Lipsticker Fishing. If you want to watch what he's doing live on the water and learn as he is actually fishing. So pretty good. Alex loves it over there. And then we got the best rod sleeve on the market, Evolve Fishing. Sold some to some guys today, and I'm telling you what, they're the best. Check them out at evolvefishing.com or here at Fish North Georgia. All the features you want. And they float. And then, of course, we got our buddies. Yeah, you can keep on going there, Alex. You ain't got to worry about jumping the ship with me. The Money Saver Lure Retriever. For all the money we spend on all these high-priced lures, if you get hung, get snagged, you want to get it back, you can do it with the Money Saver Lure Retriever. So appreciate those guys. And then, of course, Lake Allatoona, the specialist, the legend, Bill Payne's Guide Service, 706-280-2305. It not only does Lake Allatoona, he does other lakes by request, smallmouth fishing seasonally, and he will do sonar trips, get your sonar set up the right way. The guy's a legend, Bill Payne's Guide Service. And then, of course, we do have the young up-and-comer, one of my favorite guys out there in the fishing world, Brooks Anderson Fishing. He's really busy with the tournaments going on right now. But, guys, if you can get a chance, you want to go ahead and book with him. Lake Lanier Spotted Bass, where they're at, why they're there, how to catch them. Sets up his service especially for high schoolers and college anglers, trying to help them get started on their fishing career. Check him out at brooksandersonfishing.com and follow him on his YouTube page. It's really good as well. Let's go ahead and do Fishers of Hope. We'll knock it out tonight. Our buddies Fishers of Hope. Now, they actually have a tournament. I shared it on the Facebook page today, on the group page. They're trying to help out an individual that has, I believe, liver cancer. So this is what they do. They throw tournaments to help people out in need. Fishers of Hope Ministry at gmail.com. They're just trying, hey, listen, their mission to glorify God, be servants of his word, to bring those in need to peace and hope that only he can bring, but they do it with action. They don't just say it, they do it with action. So check them out on Facebook, give them an email, just try to help them out, especially with this cause. You can see it on their page. I forget the date of the tournament, but that's a great cause. Let's see if we can all help out with that. And then behind me, we got our friends over at Turner Tire, 706-253-3339. Tires in alignment, done right. Great local family business. It's where I take and get mine. I think you guys would definitely love going there yourself. So appreciate all you guys in the comments section. Coleman Jones, do we have any FNGO stickers? No, I need to get some more made. I do need to get some more of those made. So hello to the rest of you. Yeah, Tony, the wind's going to be rough on the NPFL for the guys at Sandy Cooper. I even heard there might be a possibility with the weather, although not set in stone, just talking to a couple anglers, they could cancel day one. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going on with that. Who was watching from Canada?
Michael B. from Canada.
Michael B. from Canada. How much do I owe? Well, nothing. Not a dang thing. So we owe you for watching us. So
Absolutely.
Appreciate you doing that night. And excuse me, we were kind of partying before the show. So no. Can't go in. Getting my work night going. 10-hour shift. Love listening to your show. Morristown, Tennessee. That's pretty awesome that you're,
Mhm.
working and listening to us. I always like to tell everybody, you ain't got nothing better to do your time than listen to us, but we appreciate you. And then, of course, Jake Tulin. If I missed you, you're at War Eagle the Best, you guys, in the comment section. We're glad you guys are watching. And again, if it's your first time and you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And next week, for you conservatives, we're going to be going live on Rumble, which is the conservative YouTube. Right there. So you can watch FNGO's The Live Well right along with your favorite conspiracy podcast over there. So we're going to jump on that, and we'll be broadcasting there live too. Let's go ahead and jump in with the first question of the night. Coleman Jones, what do y'all think is the key to being a more consistent tournament angler? Anybody?
You already said nothing beats time on the water.
Well, nothing does beat time on the water. That's true. Time on the water. I think confidence is a big thing. Knowing what you're good at and sticking with it, because that's why I suck at tournaments. I have no confidence in anything. What about you?
That's what I was going to say. Fish your confidence baits. I mean, everybody's got 2 or 3 that they usually catch fish on. And I'm not pulling out something new when I need to catch one. I'm going to go back to what's tried and true.
Right.
Yeah.
So
tournament day is not time for trial and error.
No, it's like Swindle said, if you're looking in your crankbait box, the one that's got all the bite marks, throw that one.
Yeah, sling that one.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you fish many tournaments?
Some.
Okay, well, you know a lot of guys that fish tournaments.
Know a lot of guys. I fished that one with Kevin, and I'll get into some every now and then.
So what do you think, though, in guys that you're seeing? What is like a common trait?
Being able to improvise on the day of the tournament. You show up and pre-fish it and everything changes. Your game plan just went out. You need to be able to assess that water as soon as you get on it, figure out, and like he said, go with what you know. Go find some fish, make them bite.
Yeah. All right, Alex, what about you in the kayak world there, big dog? Going to give you some screen time tonight.
I do fish a lot of tournaments.
Yeah.
But I really only fish tournaments so that I can try different bodies of water, and I'm not always fishing the same old creek on Lake Lanier. But really, man, time on the water, study. I like to study Google Earth and stuff like that, and look at times when the lake was down and mess with the water levels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to be what's up, Kevin Underwood, lip sticker. I think confidence is a big thing too, because even with time on the water, let's say you pre-fish for a month straight going into a tournament. There's no off limits. And if you ain't got them down and you ain't figured out nothing, you go in that tournament, you just spend a month on the water and you're not confident.
You always want to be fishing with confidence, though.
Yeah.
Even if you're just out there doing it for fun. Because if you go out there and you're not confident, then you're not going to catch anything.
Yeah, I think, let's say 50% Craftmaster, 50% of tournament fishing is knowing what section of the lake you can win in. That's true, because I'll give you guys a mistake I made here in a second. Nick B, let's get his comment real quick. It was interesting to see how many different types of baits the elites were using on Okeechobee. Very much true. Very much true. There was a lot. We're going to talk about Polnick because I was really shocked about what he was using catching those fish. That was not what I expected. But going to Craftmaster's little comment right there. Let me tell you why I screwed up Saturday. I'm always easy to, I don't have a problem telling everybody why I messed up. If you know Stamp Creek on Lake Allatoona, you can go left out of the boat ramp and it goes on up into the creek arm all the way up. It gets very narrow, almost river-like, but not river current, all the way up. Or you can go right to the marina. Well, 99.9% of the time, we all go right. And I just got tired of catching 5 fish for 6 pounds. So I told my partner, I said, we're going to go hero or zero to the left. Not knowing it up there, not fishing it, not pre-fishing it, just going for largemouth. We're going hero or zero. We went up there, and hell, all we caught was spots. Everybody that went where we normally would go caught largemouth. So I kind of, not knowing this section of the lake, messed up. I thought I was going to go up there and at least get a chance for a largemouth. And I could have, but it didn't work
Most
out.
of the time, you would catch a largemouth up there in the creek somewhere.
We didn't. We caught spots, but I really didn't know it. Never fished up there. I just said, let's just go do something different. Did it cost us? Well, hell, we wouldn't have won the tournament anyway, but still. It was different, but I agree with him on knowing what section of the lake you can win in. Gunnersville, you're pretty good over there. I mean, Do you have these areas that like I can go be competitive in a tournament at any given point of the year?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part.
And is it from history?
It's from history. Dude, over there, you can ride down the lake and you can see which one's firing, which cove, branch, creek, arm, whatever you want to call it. It's like when we were over there filming. I looked around after about 2 hours. I'm like, this ain't boats here. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I pulled in 3 or 4 weeks ago. I went in Seabold, and in one pocket at Seabold, there were 24 boats.
So you knew the fish were there.
I knew the fish were there.
Something's going on.
Or bait or something.
Something's going on.
When I rolled in there, it was a ton of bait.
Yeah.
They were all scoping. It was I forgot what big tournament it was over there. And I caught a couple out of it, but those suckers got skittish. But that's where the bait was.
Right.
And those guys that get the pre-fish on Thursday, Friday before the tournament found the bait, and they rolled in there and caught them.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I should have recognized something because there was 18 boats in our electric tournament. When 17 of them go to the right and you're the only one going to the left, hero or zero.
Hero or zero.
Hero or zero right there. So lip sticker. Tournament fishing is 25% mental, 25% time on the water, 25% luck, and 25% equipment. I can't argue with that.
That's pretty solid.
I can't argue with that. The luck part is, I don't care how much pre-fishing done. There's still a little element of luck, equipment for sure. But that's as good as you can break it down right there. Let's see, Paul B. missed out on the first part of the show again. How's everybody doing? You didn't miss nothing, baby.
We were 5 minutes late anyway.
That's right. So, Grant Saski. Now, this is one I want to talk about. So, we'll go ahead and we'll start bringing up. We'll talk about the elites. If you guys got to watch on Friday, you would have saw probably the most, in my mind, exciting hour, 30 minutes of fishing. I don't know how long he was on camera, but I saw him catch all his fish in that channel. But what you said right there about him being nice was what I remember. So did you get to see what he did with his baits afterwards and all that while he was in there? He was in a canal, and he's slamming 9.5, whatever. I'm just having a monster day, and there's 2 other boats in the canal with him. And I think he knew one of them. Hell, afterwards, he went over there, and he gave one of the guys the bait that he was catching the fish on right there. Which is something that you don't get this. Everything about fishing now is people raising hell. He's in my spot. What was the guy in Alabama that just did it a few weeks ago? Thought it was Hayden Seabolt and all that, fussing because he was in the same cove. These boats were like 1, 2, 3. It almost looked like somebody was ledge fishing up on Chick or something. When they get all together in a row, that's exactly what it looked like. No Polnick's just shoom, and he's reeling it in. Boom, these guys right there. But he gave one of the guys a bait. But I thought the fishing was outstanding. Watching him give that guy a bait and them all kind of getting along in that same area was as good as the fishing.
That's
Did you get to see it? Did you get to see it?
I did not.
It was pretty impressive. Now let's see. Like Reed Grant said, impossible not to root for him because he's one of the most likable guys. And that's what they finally had somebody doing something nice on camera. And I thought it was really good. Let's see. What's up, Kevin? Father Time's in the house. Never stick a fish after Tuesday if your tournament is on Saturday. Okay. Interesting. We've heard people talk about this. Go finding fish. Do you stick them or do you not? What about you?
I stick 1 or 2. I need to make
see
sure
what you got.
Make sure what I got. But if I get bit and catch one and I get another bite, now we're turning the hooks in and leaving.
Okay, sound like something you guys agree on with that?
Absolutely.
See, I don't know. I'm a sticker. I don't ever pre-fish.
I'll try to catch at least 2 of them.
Try to catch a few.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
I've done better when I just show up blind. I don't know if it's idiot luck or what.
Buddy, I'm blind anyway.
I get out there and go, water's this color. Let's try this.
But I do know a lot of guys follow that. And then you got the guys that will stick them the day before tournament. They don't care. So it depends on what thing. Fattiac, greatest moment of bass fishing I ever watched. Couldn't happen to a better person. Huge fan of Brandon. He gained a fan with me. I'm not gonna lie. I said, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's just pretty cool. But he was slaying some toads. He was slaying
monsters.
Some toads. Catola. Okay, now Craftmaster, go right above him. Listen to this. Hell, they were the guys in second and third.
Here's the thing: they all find the same fish. It's one of those deals. It's public. It doesn't belong to anybody. You might as well get along.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna sit there all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'd a whole lot rather fish beside somebody and have a conversation than I would be yelling and screaming back and forth.
Yeah.
It's the way it is. I mean, they are professionals.
And I mean, they were close, like almost like bumping boat close. So
rubber rail to rubber rail.
It was good. Jerry said he gave him this new crankbait he's working with, Megabass. Now, if you got to see, I don't know if you guys were able to pull it up and look.
I saw it.
It was an odd shape. It almost looked kind of like a spook size, not shaped like a spook, but that kind of size of a bait. Or was it? Did it seem that big to you?
Not that big, no.
No,
I didn't think so.
you thought it was small.
Yeah,
I thought it was a bigger
smaller.
size crankbait.
About like this big, maybe.
Well, damn, how big you think that is? That's a 5 or 6 inches.
He's a
He said,
I can't see him back there.
I ain't got
Look
measures.
at
He
it.
goes, I said, it's like a spook.
Four
He goes, no,
top.
it's about like
Hold on
this.
a
I mean,
second.
About size of a full size air spook.
look at that.
About like that.
About like that?
listen,
Okay.
yeah. But still, it was when it had like a short bill, kind of like it wasn't like didn't look like a true deep diver.
It must have not dived very. A couple little snippets I got to see, he has rod in water.
Yeah,
So it
trying
must
to
have
get it
not
deeper.
run very, very deep for him to have to do that.
Oh, it's a big one. It's another big one. So, let's see. T-Tom's right up there. No, keep on going to this one up above, right there at the top. Yeah. All right. This was my first time ever following / watching Bassmasters. Both weekends were really great, in my opinion. Top tier competition and sportsmanship. Can't argue with that. And I was watching it because we got our local hammers, Emil and Paul Marks Jr.
Yeah.
fishing. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm just getting into the professional fishing a little bit more. But I felt really cool to watch Polnick do what he did. And I was just like, that's all right. I hope they can keep that going. And I hope all the rest of the leagues can have moments like that, with the NPFL kicking up and everything, because that's what needed to be on TV. And I think we can all agree on that. But I'm telling you, he slayed these shit out of fish for 4 days he did. But
Yeah.
that was the greatest. I called my cousin and I was like, are you watching what Polnick's doing? And he was on the water and he goes, no, what? I said, I just can't describe it to you. 9 plus, 7 plus, whatever. He had 34 pounds that day. There's months.
He
I don't
caught
catch
the
them.
biggest fish ever recorded in a Bassmaster.
Well, that's what they
series
said, but I think
He
somebody
didn't-
else.
He didn't.
Somebody else weighed a bigger one.
Somebody else had big
11
fish.
something.
Had 11 plus weighed in.
Yeah.
Because I remember that thinking, so you're Polnick, you're going in there with 34 pounds, couple 9-pounders. Yeah, I feel pretty good. Somebody drops an 11 something on you.
Yeah, he had
But at that point-
23-7 the first day.
At that point, he didn't care.
No.
I mean, what he ended up winning the tournament by 15 pounds.
That was a lot.
It was a dominant.
Mhm.
But now I noticed he was in a canal. I noticed a lot of them guys were kind of in that canal. So, when we were younger, or even not so long ago, you fished Okeechobee, you were out on these big grass
Mhm.
mats. It seemed like all the good fishing was in the canals.
It's changed a lot with the hurricanes and they spray and
Mm-hmm.
one storm comes through there and it flips everything.
So back to pull that right to the very top, T-Toms. Back-to-back 9s and a 7.5 in like 20 minutes.
Mhm.
Dude, it was like, I honestly was like, man, this is all right. Jim Wright, how would you handle someone coming from the other side of the creek and fish in front of you? Well, I honestly have never had that happen. I've never had that happen in a tournament. So I can't answer that. Now, Saturday we had these two, I'd say these women were in their 60s. And they're just kayaking up Stamp Creek. And we're honestly 20 feet off this little bend point / the thing. And sure as shit, right between us and the bank. And they were talking about some woman they couldn't believe. I can't believe she did that.
This is
And we just sat
hen
there.
gossip.
They gossiping and we're listening to them talking as they go by. And I just looked at William and I'm like, they don't know no better, So it was okay. And then that one time at Hickory Log when that woman came in the bikini in the paddle boat. Did I ever tell you that?
I think so.
Oh, Lord. It had to.
Disrupt everybody's day.
Well, her husband was right behind us. They're trying to fish. We're like, it's all right. It's all right.
Let the lady make her way through.
It's all right. But how would you handle that? How would you handle that, Dave?
I don't know. It just depends. I mean, that's one of those. I guess it depends on your mood.
Yeah.
If you're catching them, I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But Other than that, it's not worth it. It's just really not. It happens, and it happens so frequently. It's happened to me on Lanier a good bit. It's happened probably more on Gunnersville just because the fish stack up. I mean, I've been out there and been on the guy. And here's the thing: if a guy pulls up and says, "Hey, man, I found him here too. Do you mind if we'll share?"
Yeah.
You pull in there and drop a trolling motor, we're probably gonna have some words.
Okay. All depends on how they approach you.
Correct. And I'll do the same thing. I mean, it's just kind of. I had some kids. I think it was last summer. I pulled up on. They were fishing the inside grass line. I wanted the outside grass line. I pulled up there, killed the motor, and they went to looking. I never dropped a trolling motor. I said, "Hey guys, are y'all fishing this side or this side? This is all I care about." They're like, "Oh no, go ahead."
Yeah, as long as you communicate.
Yeah, I think that's a big.
Yeah, I always ask people if I end up coming around a corner, I'm like, "Hey, am I crowding y'all?" I've even asked people before, "Y'all in the tournament today?" And if they're like, "Yeah," immediate right or left, I just bug out.
Yeah. But have you had anybody pull up on you and was just a jerk about it?
I hadn't had anybody go like full Karen or Ken or whatever like they call them,
Right.
but I've had some people just come up and sit down, and when you're like, "Hey, bud," they
Yeah.
just ignore you.
Yeah.
And
What
that
about-
makes you even madder.
That's it. What about you, kayak guy? Because I know people disrespect you, kayak guys.
It's happened a couple times. Not so much now that I have the nicer setup. When I was in my little yellow paddle boat,
If you look like you just got it from a local
Um,
department store, they don't respect you.
right. But I have it happen with my buddy on his boat while we're fishing at night a lot. You'll be sitting there fishing the light, and people will just pull right up on you.
On a dock light and everything?
Yeah, and they'll cast in and it's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, you guys are fishing for bass. We're not," or whatever. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Interesting. Scroll on up. We missed something. Guys, if you do make a comment and we miss it, make sure you throw it back out there again. Let's see. So everybody talks about, so we're going back up there. Yeah, it was evidently everybody's prototype mega bass, big M. So that's pretty cool to know like that. So what is Adam W fishing? Danny, you're talking about the mega bass Canada? Canada. Brandon caught some on it like that. Okay. Great that people are talking about the good things that happen versus the drama crap. Jerry, I ain't got no time to talk about the drama crap. There's channels out there that make a living, if you understand what I mean, on the drama crap. Sometimes I wonder if they'd even have a channel.
They wouldn't.
If they didn't have drama.
If they weren't clickbaiters, I hate to say that, but
Well,
if they
it
weren't
is.
just searching drama out and
You
posting videos on it.
You clickbaiter.
Clickbaiter.
You're a clickbaiter. But honestly, as we don't like to talk about it, but it was actually nice to see, just to actually see somebody. Yeah, pull it Grant up so we can kind of talk. This is kind of getting Grant Asaski right there. What's up, buddy? Also, no one tell Emil or Paul anything about the fishing or water conditions. Low. We don't need any more DQs. Now
That brings up a good topic.
Now we can talk about this. Because there was a couple NPFL guys that we were thinking about talking with tonight, and I asked them. I straight up asked them, is it a good idea? Because what if something gets said or I read a comment, is that against your info rules? Now, we know about Scott Martin. We know about Heron. We know about those, and you can have your own opinions on it. So I don't want to necessarily delve into that, but we kind of mentioned it the other night with the info rules. Is there a way to change it to where it's not so, or either it's cut, black and white, right, here's the line, or do they just need to start putting some common sense in there, maybe having somebody kind of like, what was the intent? Was your intent on gaining an advantage? And if it was, get it.
That means a lot. If you're intentionally doing it, if you accidentally stumble upon something, you weren't searching it out.
Yeah. So I think the intent's the big thing. I do know that I had a pro in here one time who told me, because I asked him, I'm in a tackle shop. We got a tackle shop. If you're in here shopping and me and another guy are talking about it and you're not part of the conversation, are you breaking the rule by hearing it? And he goes, technically, no. It's kind of a gray area. And I said, so you're telling me that I could force that conversation into giving information without giving information. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, Baldridge Marina, what was you catching him on the other day? XYZ down the line. He's fishing Lanier. but he's not part of that conversation. He's just in here shopping. He said that's a real gray area
It is
right there.
And I don't know there's a good solution. I watched a couple podcasts on it that were talking about it. Like I said, I agree with Tim. Intent is a big deal. But I know Brad Fuller was on one of them. They were talking about they're going to really look at that for the MPFL this year, try to clean it up, try to decrease that gray area. But like I said, I don't know. I think it's one of those. It's like when Emil was on a while back, and he was talking about they were talking about the new regulations, and you could have one transducer in 55 inches and all things. And it's almost like if it's out there, you feel like you have to chase it. So if they took the no information rule away, and you got guys that are in guide boats all the time and buying waypoints and stuff, if you're not doing that, it makes you feel like you do. That's like Emil said, my boat rigged this year, I can rig it the same as next year. I don't feel like I need, active target or Garmin on the backs, live scan and everything. I don't have to do all that.
Right.
And I think that's a good point. I don't know where it lands with that.
I think if you buy information, 100%, that should be.
Oh yeah, party foul.
But I'm sure I'm in the minority. I'm against the info rule. I said let them go.
And it used to be that way. FLW was that way.
Yeah, let them go.
When they used to come to Louisiana, those guys would be down there for a month in some of these places, literally fishing for a month.
Yeah.
And another thing is, again, is that an unfair advantage if you have somebody else that is more high profile that he may have the same or maybe a little more knowledge of the place,
right?
But he's got sponsor obligations, he's got all these other things, or he's got a wife and 2 young kids that needs to be home, and this other guy's single and he's out there. He can be out there for a month, and this other guy can be out there for a week.
Yeah.
How do you level it?
I don't know. I mean, like in other sports, they send out scouts. You have scouts to go watch other teams play and kind of. Now, granted, you can't sneak into their practices and stuff like
that. Is true,
but you can send advanced scouts and all that. I don't know. I get tired of hearing about the info rule. Especially,
I've thought about it too. Like, what if you send your buddy out there to go fish it and come back and tell you what he found? He's not a local. He's not a guide. He's just a dude fishing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I know why the no info rule's there, but I think you could add a whole nother level if you just did away with it, where guys can send like false information. I mean, let's think about it this way.
Think about the espionage that would go on.
Espionage that could happen if you got rid of the no info rule. Yeah, I don't like you, Angler X, but I tell you what, they were over here crushing it on a chrome Seville.
When I catch a big fish and I post it on that fish brain app, I always tag the location somewhere else.
Do you really? Yes. But ain't that defeating the purpose of the app?
I always tag it somewhere else.
So, how about show up and fish with no practice and no info? You could do that.
Run what you brung. Hope you brung enough. Yeah.
You could do that. But I mean, it's just getting to the point now where, let's be honest.
With the internet, it's pointless.
And how many of these happen where they don't get caught, don't get reported?
Right.
I mean, let's just say we want to think that every one of these guys, and for the most part, you probably are angels, but you're fishing for $100,000. Somebody I promise you.
And I think that's why the MLF, like the team series this year, was so popular because they brought that back. They put 2 guys in a boat, just like we fish. And like I said, they show up and half the time it's a damn rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have rectangle lakes, if anybody hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
And that's what they get for a map. And they just go fishing. And here's the thing, it splits up. The other bad word in fishing is forward facing. It kind of splits that up. A lot of those guys hit the bank. And there's a few out there doing other things, so you get to watch it all.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think what happened with the other 2 are egregious, the 2 cases, Heron and Martin?
Dude, I'm serious. I think I looked at Facebook twice last week. I don't really know what I've heard of it. It doesn't sound like it. I think way it sounds to me is they want to put a damper on it. Is what it sounds like. What little bit I've heard.
Yeah, Well, I think that it technically drops when the schedule comes out. This is Bassmaster, right?
As soon as the schedule is released, there's no information from that point on. The problem is, and I've heard this from multiple pros. It's not my opinion, but this is what I've heard. It gets very difficult to police when it's that far out.
For sure.
If it was 30 days, then you could do that. But again, it gets back into, who's got the deepest pockets. I mean, it would hurt somebody like Emil and Paul, I would think.
Oh yeah.
Where you got the guys out there that have been out there that's made a bunch of money. They have the means to do this. And I'm just using them for example because they're rookies. Does Emil have $25,000 extra laying around to buy waypoints for the year? I don't know.
The way he wins tournaments around here, you might. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Pull up Craftmaster right there. Okay, this is his opinion right here. Info rule is good. Solicitation or no solicitation should be the line. Scott clearly solicited info in the video. Sounds like Matt didn't. Okay, I mean, I didn't watch Scott's video because at the end of the day, I really don't care. But not saying that it's wrong to care. I just personally don't. But it is. I'm not so much worried about the anglers that got DQ'd or all the problems. It's just some of the rules. I don't know. I mean, I guess I understand where it could be good or bad. It is the rule, though. So, and all of them are pretty much the same. MPFL, MLF, they're all the same. Had a kayak guy hit me up. Don't forget, I don't remember his name, but he has a tournament. And then he said, hey, he wanted to ask me about Alatuna. And then before I answered, not you, Alex, there was another guy. Before I answered, this guy came back and said, wait, never mind, excuse me, we have a no info rule. And I didn't send him anything, but he told me they had a no info rule. I'm like, damn, kayak guys
he cut you off fast, huh?
He did. I said,
good for him.
Even kayak guys got no, but he didn't know the rules of the tournament he was fishing. He come back real quick. Lucky for him, I said, I'm fishing. I'll tell you about it tonight.
Yeah.
And then it was before I got a chance to tell him about my day. He said, hey, I can't, But I mean, good God, it's just no offense. I mean, it's just kayaks. You know what I mean?
And we do got no information rules. So like what I'll do is just if I'm watching something or if I'm sitting here, I'll just not ask a question about it. You know what I mean?
I get it. Well, I will tell you this, like we don't in electric bass services. We have a 1 week off period. We have none of that, no solicitation rules and all that. Because to be quite honest, I mean, we would all sandbag and lie to each other anyway. I mean, we really would. Honestly, you can't trust
I think the
nobody.
off limits so far beyond and just show up that morning.
Yeah,
no,
it's fine.
No pre-fishing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, just hit it.
I like that.
Well, we've seen it works.
Yeah, we do. Now Jerry has a good one. Jerry Catula right there on the bottom. And this is true. The guys on the elites voted for tough guidelines to be implemented with the no info rule and more lie detector reviews.
Yeah, they did. They did
That
actually
was based
ask
upon
for it.
last year, right?
They've gotten what they asked for. So
Well, sometimes, I don't know.
careful what you wish for, maybe.
That's the one thing, though, in professional fishing that really don't bother me. Man. I don't care. It's kind of like, I hate to say this, steroids in baseball. Who was not watching when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were crushing the ball?
Right.
It was must-watch TV. Mm-hmm. Barry Bonds comes up with a head the size of a giant pumpkin. We wanted to see how far he could hit it. Now, you got your purists who say but you can't tell me people weren't glued to the TV watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was.
Oh, yeah.
And we all knew them jokers were pumping. We all knew it, but that's just me. I always think a little bit different. I don't think Bass should have had Scott and Roland on their show, in my humble opinion. That's something interesting because, they let them get on, and I guess Scott tried to explain it a little bit. You didn't get to see that, did you?
See that part.
Did you see it? Yeah. What was your opinion of it?
I mean,
be honest. Put the camera on you so when it comes back and I get sued, it's on you.
Who knows if it's true or not? The only way to know what happened is to be there and hear the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't trust these guys anyways. I think they're all full of shit.
You don't Did you hear that?
What did he say?
He said he doesn't trust the guys on the elites. He thinks they're all full of shit.
No, not like that. Like
they'll run over you in your plastic boat next time you're out on the water. No.
You can tell. You know what I mean?
Well, okay. Well, pull up. Go ahead. Well, I'll get to some of them up there, but go ahead and pull down on Craftmaster right there at the bottom. Scott was allowed to self-report after bass had the video evidence in their hands.
That has been part of the controversy that he didn't call and report till he already thought he'd been snitched
Well,
out.
that goes to it's easier to ask
See?
forgiveness than permission.
Maybe so.
It works. It works for my wife.
Yeah.
But did you know that?
I didn't know.
See, I didn't either. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
he-
Yeah, but I have heard
But
that.
I did see a comment earlier about how many of the guys would self-report. I know Matt Herron did because he got a ticket up in, I want to say it was the St. Lawrence River a few years ago.
Mhm.
Because up there apparently they have a speed limit, which that would totally suck. But anyway,
Wow.
he rounded the corner and going through his place and blue lights hit him, pulled him over like 45 minutes. He actually self-reported it and they gave him another hour or something at the dock. So he lost almost 2 hours of fishing time between 2 days. But he went in and said, "Hey, I was speeding through the no."
I
through the
forgot
speed
about that,
limit."
but he did.
He
Yeah,
did.
he got busted
He
for
self-reported.
skating through there. pretty
Okay,
fast.
all right, but to that comment, and like we'll get back up some of your other comments. How many you think wouldn't report it?
Oh, you got some in every group.
And even those that most of them got Rangers on their boat, right?
Yeah.
Got or what the hell?
Marshals.
Marshall. I said Rangers.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
I mean,
Rangers.
most of the time they don't fill the full field with marshals.
Okay.
Now they may in good weather climates. I'm not signing up to be a marshal and go out in the middle of Ontario.
No.
Ain't happening.
I'd be so seasick on some of them
Yeah.
up north. Yeah.
Well, hell, Corey Johnson got seasick in one tournament. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was regardless of your opinion on him, that was pretty badass.
Yes.
Yeah, to do that. Derek Spicer, how was my tournament on Allatoona?
You sure you want to ask that, Derek?
Took 7th out of 18 boats. So
There you
I mean,
go.
it was a decent points day for us at the Fish North Georgia EBO tournament trail. We caught all spots when we were going for all largemouth, and every fish was caught on a shaky head, which the water was stained, and that was not what we planned on doing, except for one. I caught one on a rattle trap, on a trap. I don't remember what brand it was. First time I ever done that. So.
You can't help if the wrong fish were in the wrong spot. They got confused.
Or either it was operator error on my part, but one of the two.
I'm trying to help.
Somebody.
I'm trying to give you
Somebody
out
was
here.
confused.
But you know what? I tell you what though, I tried to channel my inner Emil. I wore my Jesus Water Walker 2000s, my open-toed sandals so that my toes would show, and a pair of thin, I mean like real thin fishing pants, the kind that you can take a pulse through if
Yeah.
they were tight enough.
Yeah.
But you ain't got to worry about that with me. But anyway, I had that on. I get out of the truck and it's like 30-something degrees, and then the wind starts blowing. I froze my ass off for the first 4 hours of that tournament. And I got sunburned on my toes. So I had frostbite and
So there's a little red stripe across the old
there's a
tootsies
there's a
there.
red
huh?
stripe right there. And that joker was itching like hell last night about damn 7 o'clock. I'm like, gosh, sunburn on my feet. Jim Wright right there at the top. But it was fun. It was fun. One more up. There you go. I was talking to an MPFL fisherman and asked when the cutoff for information was. They told me December 31st was the cutoff, and said I couldn't give them info on any lake they were fishing that year. And that's it. But that's where it came to where I was talking to that other guy. And this has been 2 seasons ago. And he was in the shop. And I asked him about that. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I was talking to somebody else, can you listen to it, but not solicit? And he goes, it's that gray area right there. So, let's see. Nick B said, going down. Mike Geiger, how you doing? Luke Duncan was talking about that in his video. I did not watch his video yet. I guess I need to. Geiger says he thinks it'd be about 50-50 with self-report. So I get that. It typically starts once the schedule is officially released.
Yeah.
So with all that said, still I got to start watching a little more MLF because that's the one I don't watch near much.
Yeah.
I watch the MPFL. Got a lot of guys in that. MPFL's first tournament kicks off this weekend. All right, so they're on Santee Cooper.
Yep.
That is a strong lake for one Patrick Walters, Derek, Cook, Drew Cook. I said Derek, yeah. Craftmaster said in my scenario he should just walk away. He should, but they don't always do it. So you're right. That's it. So you're absolutely right. So anyway, Scott straight up got caught and Bass let him lie about it. Bad optic for sure. If we didn't have that no info, it really wouldn't matter, boys.
Right.
Everybody would just be playing on the same level field. If you ain't cheating, you ain't right. What is it? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying to win. Or what is that old NASCAR saying out there?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And we all love NASCAR. So except you, you like NASCAR?
No.
No, I didn't think you did.
Me neither.
You don't either. You don't like NASCAR?
No.
God, I'd love to drive a NASCAR.
No, I wouldn't mind driving one.
Oh, yeah,
I'd like to
driving.
take one for a pass because I can handle that.
Oh, I think that road. I don't like road courses, but I'm starting to like road courses too. The way they beat and bang on
Road
each other.
courses are a lot of fun.
They are fun.
But NASCAR died with Dale Earnhardt.
Start learning about counter steering, how to throw the weight.
It did. It did. But
NASCAR died with Dale Earnhardt.
I agree. But I lived through junior. I lived through junior for a few more years.
Yeah.
You know, who you pull for now?
I don't even watch.
Don't even watch?
Mm-mm.
Oh, don't be a quitter.
No,
Get back in
I don't
there.
even watch. All I do is I quit watching baseball and everything. All I do is go fishing.
I can handle everything, but I ain't quitting baseball. Braves
I
get
listen
start
to
off.
it.
Yeah.
I listen to baseball now, but I won't watch. I don't watch it. I don't even watch TV or anything. Everything I do is all about fishing.
Okay. Hey, you know what you like? Go for it. That's what I like to say.
Well, what Kevin said about his getting cut off.
What did Kevin say? Pull up Thornton out there. All right. If I get cut off by other fishermen, they act like they've done nothing. I'd be polite and ask them if they'd like to fish in my boat.
Come over here. Use my rod.
I could see Kevin doing that. Did you know his porn name? Thor.
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 Yeah.
We'll call him Thor from here
He's
on
Thor.
You got Thor's hammer.
because he'll drop the hammer right there.
Next
So,
tournament we fish, I'll be like, it's Thor and I are out here tonight on the lake.
Thor, you got to do that. So MPFL, the guys that we know from last year and all that, but they got all the new guys coming in. What's your expectations of this tournament? And you guys in the comment section, throw it out there as well. What's your expectations of the first MPFL tournament this year? Should be,
The weather's going to, I think, impact it a lot. If they even don't have cancellation days,
Right.
What it looks like. That place, I've not been there, but I hear it's sketchy to run and it gets bad. So if they get to fish, I don't know. I think it's going to change a lot if they get the kind of winds that they were talking about over there. I mean, the weights are going to be lower. That's just the way it is. But I think it's going to be cool to watch. When MLF did the Conroe thing, that was straight winter, and those guys, there was a few of them that caught them good when they weren't scoping, but the majority of them was during that scope round. So
right.
It'll be interesting to see. I think Santee's a little further along, and there should be some bigger fish moving up.
So Ray says Kyle Welcher. Of course, Kyle Welcher is in any tournament he's in, he's always a threat.
Yeah, he's a threat at any level.
Do you think? I'm just asking this question. Do you think because Bassmaster has and MLF have had a couple tournaments now, got a little bit of a head start, you think it steals any thunder from the MPFL being a little bit later?
I don't think so because they're doing something totally different.
Right.
I think there's been a lot of guys that's been sitting here for 2 months waiting on this sucker to start.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hopefully their production's good. They said they brought it all in-house this year. I know some of their stuff was a little hard to watch in the past. It kind of glitch out.
It was, and they admit that.
But I think there's a lot of people waiting on MPFL to get going.
If you look in the comment section, so Jerry Catula says a lot of new big name guys will at least cash checks for sure. Craftmaster said he's excited to watch it. One up right there. He's excited to watch the MPFL. Anyone know what and how the new coverage works?
I don't know what they called it.
If you know it in there, definitely throw it out there.
Yeah, somebody put that in the comments.
They'll have a good opportunity to catch them on moving baits. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. What happens, though? Just out of curiosity, this is where my brain thinks. What happens if all these guys come up and none of them do worth the crap? And your old MPFL guys just stomp them. Like you don't see a Hank Cherry or a Swindle or any of them new guys in the top 30.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't either. I'm just throwing it out there for
Just throwing a
conversation.
what if. Yeah,
Just a what if. Do you think all of a sudden it would become, it wasn't all about the scope and these guys?
Oh, those rabbit holes. They go down those rabbit holes fast.
That's what I'm saying. And you never know what somebody's going to say.
It'll go that way. But like I said, I see them doing well. A lot of these guys have here's the thing, Santee, they've had some tournaments on there, but the Santee of old, it was in these guys' wheelhouse. I mean, that's what they did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's not like
What techniques you think are honestly going to come into play?
chatterbait, shallow crankbait, trap, swim jig,
Moving,
spinnerbait, moving baits. I'm
Moving
with
for
Kevin,
sure.
moving.
especially
Okay.
with it dirty
Yeah, and they're going to have that rain, that line of rain we're getting tonight going through
and
and all that.
wind, and it's going to turn it up.
It's going to churn it up a little bit. Okay, very interesting. They'll have a good opportunity to, getting to catch them on moving baits right there. Pull up old Andy Anderson right there, our buddy there. Congrats to Cooper McDonald on the BFL win this weekend on Lanier. The 16 and 17-year-olds are dialed in, and good to see them doing well and on top of the leaderboard. Cooper can fish Lanier. He absolutely can fish.
Beyond the shadow of a doubt.
He can do that. But it didn't take somebody I forget if it was Bass Nation or somebody made a post, had a picture of Cooper on there with this thing, and it didn't take long. One of them comments is like, it became, well, if I could spend the lake all day, I could do it. If I had the video game fishing, I could do it. It gets so old.
There's always a keyboard warrior out there somewhere.
It don't take but minutes.
No,
And that guy's out there which is exactly goes back to what I was saying. What happens if all these new elites or new older elites come in and they do awful? What are the keyboards going to look like? What are the people going to be saying?
light up. They're going to light up.
All your clickbait channels will absolutely be livid. They'll be getting clicks left and right because they've got so much BS material to work with.
Oh, for sure. It's going to be a cornucopia of information for those channels right there. So, but Santee Cooper, I mean, have you fished it?
I've never been on it.
Describe for those that don't know anything about that lake what it's like.
From what I understand, it's shallow.
Yeah.
It's two lakes, Moultrie, and there's two different like bodies of water on it.
Right.
But from what I understand, it's shallow, bunch of stumps. I remember back in the days when Preston Clark sat there and won it. He had set the record at one point. Sight fishing. It was clear. They had good weather. They could see.
Especially
it's sketchy to
swamp
run.
fishing.
Yeah,
Basically,
100%.
yeah.
I got some buddies that were out there last weekend, and it's a lot of cypress trees.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like cypress trees.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty cool. Craftmaster, haters going to hate. Congrats, Cooper. He's a hammer. True. Haters are going to hate no matter what. So that's the thing. Tony, our buddy Tony, Big Tony. That's his name. That's his
porn name, wasn't it?
Big Tony. Big Tony. It does get old, Danny. Everyone's mad when they aren't working as hard as the ones winning. We are not getting beat by electronics. We're getting beat by hard work and dedication.
Spot on.
Now, I agree with that because a lot of guys, listen, I know a lot of guys that got live scope. They suck. They're terrible. They got all the equipment in the world, but they're terrible.
Yeah.
Now, that's relative based upon my abilities too, but still, you got to still put the time in and all that. I don't care.
It takes a lot of work to learn it. I mean, like when I got it, I was fishing Lanier a lot. I mean, it wasn't, and it was summertime, so it wasn't relatively hard. There's little dots above the top of the brush pile. You throw something across, and back then they all just came and grenade it. They don't do that anymore.
No, they don't.
But like I went to Gunnersville. I spent a lot of time in the last 6 months learning live scope shallow.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to be able to pick out fish in the grass. It's a different technique. And those kids over there are good, man. I'm going to tell you what, you better show up
Yeah,
when you
for
get
sure.
over there. But and like go back to time on the water. They have the ability to do it. I can't hate them for that. Hell, if I was 18, 19 years old and fishing in college, I'd be on the water every chance I got to.
Yeah, for sure. I think the guy in that comment section, they said, well, why don't, he said, just proof anybody can win with a video game or something like that. And one of the comments was, why don't you go win you one?
Yeah, bring it.
But his comment was, I got a job.
Oh, yeah.
Probably didn't even have a boat.
I got a
So
job.
does everybody else who fishes.
I got a job. Man. Let's see. Jerry says, I'm not from the Lanier area, and I've heard that Cooper can just flat out catch fish. Corn fish not. We got a lot of young hammers on Lanier that are like that.
Yeah, a lot of these young folks that are around this area, you need to follow them on their media platforms. It's truly impressive.
Yeah. So Emil, talking about a couple local hammers. So Emil made the cut on St. John's. Paul didn't. And then they flip-flopped on Okeechobee. Paul made the cut and Emil didn't. But still, to me as a rookie, in any given year on any of the major circuits. You make the cut, that's good. To me, as a rookie,
You've
you
done
made the
something.
cut. And I don't know that those lakes are in their wheelhouse. I don't know. I'd have to talk. I talked to Emil and Paul about coming on. They're going to come on, but problem is right now I'm trying to get all the pros on it, their schedules.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
Like, seriously, it's crazy. But we're going to get them all on. I had a friend that lived close to Santee, called it the Big Windy. So evidently it's a lake that's got the way it lays out, it's just going to be windy the entire time.
Yeah, like I said, it's not deep, so it gets a lot rougher, a lot quicker.
Yeah, I like that. So you guys are doing great. We're going to do the question of the night here in a little bit for Kevin. It's a 3-part question. It might not be as tough as your normal ones. We're going to give away a couple packs of the General, the Power Bait General, Max Scent General. So stay tuned for that here in just a little bit. You watch a lot of MLF?
I watch it all usually.
Okay. So far this year,
Mhm.
can't put the NPFL in this because I haven't fished one yet. Of the two that I fished, Bassmaster and MLF, which one has, I don't want to say excited you more, but has kept your attention more?
I don't know that I have a favorite, but I will say the MLF thing is pretty interesting when they have to lock that box up and just go regular old fishing. It's been interesting to see. I think it'll get better as it goes on. Like I said, the first one, dude, they ain't but like 8 bass in Conroe. They're huge, and you get to catch them and try to release them and catch them again. It's not loaded with fish like a Toledo Bend or Rayburn.
Right.
Most of the Texas lakes are. This is not that way. Now, the ones they got are good, and they all wadded up in one area. I'm going to be more excited to see what MLF does moving forward. We get to Red Crest, of course, that's about the house. When I think the fishing's better on the bank, I think it's going to really shine. I think I'm going to like it. And I don't dislike Bassmasters. I like scoping.
Right.
But I think
For your viewing pleasure.
I think MLF's a cool format.
For your viewing pleasure, you would
I probably would lean towards MLF.
to MLF.
Mhm.
Okay. What about you?
MLF.
Really?
Yeah. I like them having to all of a sudden turn it off. They got to totally change gears.
Yep.
That makes sense.
And you got a shorter practice, and you got to practice 2 techniques in said shorter practice.
Right. Because you're only going to be able to go out and scope or whatever, fish that style for one period.
Right.
And you got to totally change gears and go after fish a total another way. So
it's more of what you're watching as opposed to like the weigh-in and all the drama with the weigh-ins and stuff like that.
yeah,
You just like the format.
I like the format.
Okay, interesting. What
keeps
do you guys
keeps you interested.
What do
is
you
it
guys
is.
out there in the comment think about? Which format do you like better, Bassmaster, and you can say the NPFL because they're the best 5 weigh-in, or MLF? Tony says BP, and I'm assuming he's talking about Brandon. Again, ignited my excitement for bass. Haven't watched MLF yet. I plan on tuning into the NPFL. And I'm going to watch it because, of course, NPFL, because, of course, we got our buddies,
We got a whole crew of guys
we got a
on
whole
the
crew of
NPFL
guys
to
on the
watch.
NPFL that we can watch, too. And I've always watched them, so it will be interesting, too. MLF has better production, and it's interesting with only one round. Like, that's what was said there. Now, I can't wait to watch the MLF team events this year, Tony Collins says like that. And you said you like that.
That they've done it the 2 times, and the first time they did it with the earbuds and they were all 3 in different boats. That's not really relatable to me. It's relatable when they get in a boat like you and I would.
Right.
We're trying to break it down and figure it out then. That's the backbone of tournament fishing, in my opinion, is team tournaments.
Okay. No, that makes
Especially
sense.
if you got 2 guys on there, it's total different critters as far as styles. Then they got to go figure out how to catch fish.
That makes sense. So it adds a little element of that to it for sure. Let's see. Coleman Jones. I'm a bass guy, but MLF is entertaining for me. Could be that I'm younger. Craftmaster says he can't watch the Every Fish Counts format. And there are a lot of guys out there that can't. And you're shaking your head back there like you wouldn't like that either.
I don't like that either.
You don't like it either. It's funny. It's just funny. It's like our politics. We're just all divided 50-50, on everything. MLF has been more fun to watch. I like them both equally. Got to be the same boat event for me like that.
Yeah.
Mercer at Bass makes me want to mute the live. Tyler McDonald.
Well,
Listen, I've been trying to get him to hire me. I'd go do that stuff. Listen, Mercer. I don't. I really don't watch any other fishing podcasts that much. I know I should, and I know that I should listen to him, but I don't have an opinion on him one way or the other. What's your opinion on him?
I don't mind him. This is the thing, because of his platform, he gets unbelievable guests.
He does.
Well,
It helps.
I mean, he's full access to all of them. So
yeah,
I mean, he's had Welcher on there a bunch of times. I've watched those multiple times just because I think he's so interesting the way he thinks about things and does that.
yeah.
And some of it gets a little out there for me, but
Him and Duncan both have access to a lot of good guys.
They do.
That is my Friday afternoon driving to Alabama. As I throw a podcast or two or three on, and I get in the truck
Yeah.
and go.
I can listen to Duncan. I've not listened to Mercer that much.
It's
But
not
Mercer,
bad.
if you ever watch this, I'm not against you. I'll
Right.
watch. I'll start paying attention. But I have a hard time listening to just anybody talk fishing.
Yeah.
It's got to be, and the guest has a lot to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes, what's that one? There's one with some guy that I can't get by, and I don't know the name of it. Guy's like he's in a coffee robe or something.
Bass After Dark.
Bass After Dark, Ken Duke, actually in PFL.
He's the MPFL guy. Hey,
Well,
listen, I love all you guys.
He's a historian or something. for
That's
the
it. So
NFL.
it's just not my brand. I'm not saying he does a bad job. It's just not my
He
brand.
probably knows more about bass fishing than
Sure, he
probably
does.
forgotten more than we'll ever know.
100%.
But yeah, the whole pimp suit is
Yeah.
Got the smoke. I think it's a smoking
He
jacket,
needs,
like
he,
a smoking robe.
he needs a pipe.
I think he's an attorney too.
Maybe.
I saw
I'm
that
not
on
saying the
last
guy is bad. Or
podcast.
not. It's
No,
just not my
seems
brand.
like a
I can
nice
listen to
guy.
Duncan.
Yeah.
I think if all podcasts were the same, nobody would care anymore.
That's true.
Ours is viewer driven because we got all these comments over here. A lot of the podcasts they record those and just shoot them out at a certain time. We're live right here, literally interacting and talking with the guys that are watching.
100%. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and knock out the question.
So.
Question of the night. So let's pull up our buddies over there at Serve IT. Guys, if your company is looking for a complete 100% all integrated IT managed solution, Serve IT is the company for you. Specializing in customer service, they're an American-based company. They can handle your problems from start to finish, and they can even prevent those problems. So it doesn't matter whether you're a huge company or even a small mom and pop shop. If you've got IT needs, Serve IT is the company for you. Check them out at serveit.com. And if you're looking for, let's say, a change of venue in your career world, hey, check it out. You don't have to know IT services. They can teach you. But if you got that right frame of attitude and you're customer service oriented, check out Serve IT. Go to serveit.com. Check on the career section. Tell them you're from Fish North, Georgia, and at least get you a call and see if it's the right change for you. So with that being said, all right, we're going to do the question. It's got 3 answers.
3 answers.
You're going to read it?
I can.
You're going to read it. And again, the winner, if you win, you need to Facebook message me your address and everything. And you're going to get 2 packs of 5-inch Berkeley Generals, 1 in Junebug and 1 in Green Pumpkin. For the
Can't
first
go wrong
person.
with either color.
And now listen, don't just give one answer. Give all 3 in the comments. Don't
Yeah.
help anybody else out. So here we go.
All right, folks. Whether you call it Rapala or Rapala, what was the first?
It's a Rapala.
It's a Rapala.
That's right.
What was the first lure they ever made?
Yep.
What was the material that it was made from? And what year did it come out?
Say it one more time, Kevin.
Rapala. What was the first lure they ever made? What was it made from? The material it was made from, and what year did it come out? Give
There you
all 3 answers. Don't just start plugging at it. Give
And
them
I'm
all
not
3.
going to give any hints tonight because Kevin's watching right there.
Right. Kevin is sitting at home monitoring with an evil eye at us, and we got to do him good.
So, dadgum.
Winner.
Well,
Darian won.
Thanks for participating.
that didn't take long at all. That didn't take a Darian Moss.
Dang,
Guy.
Darian.
Floating minnow cork 1936. Now, when Alex asked that question before, the first thing I said was balsa wood, which I noticed that a lot of you guys said in there because I was like, balsa. That was wrong. It's cork. So there you go. So, Darian, I think Kevin got my evil eye on you. So, Darian, I think I got your. I think you've won before, so I got your address. I'll get these.
The
out to
last
you.
Thursday I was on, that poor man's thumbs should be if he was typing on his phone, because remember he was rapid firing.
Oh, he was the one that did that. Yeah,
He was rapid firing.
he was asking how many questions.
He won by speed more than anything.
That
just
was Kevin wanted to know how many episodes or he had done or something.
right.
Like that.
And Darian started just
71,
hammering the
72,
comment.
74, 75. So
Went way past the answer.
we'll get that out to you. So, and I do appreciate the a lot of the comments in there about this show. We have a lot of fun with it. We don't take ourselves too serious. So, I appreciate Adam W. Fishing and Brian Jessup. Only show I can watch from start to finish and all that. Thank you guys. That means a lot to us. And
We're here for y'all.
to be honest with you, you guys make the show. You just don't know it.
Mhm.
Everyone knows that wasn't one of my questions. They got it too quick. That was Alex. I just said, hey, we got to get
Kevin, I'm sorry I let you down. I'm kind of hurt now.
I knew it was going to be too
Grant, Grant Carmichael, pull up his answer right there. This looks like a copy and paste. Original floating Rapala, created in 1936 by Lauri Rapala in Finland, handcrafted it from cork.
Well, all right. So why did you say Rapala and then Rapala?
Because
Gotta cover all
You just
bases.
caught him.
Didn't you?
You just caught him.
No, I did that for you.
No, you didn't.
I
Good
did it
save.
for you,
This
man.
man, you know this man's been in TV. Look at that.
I'd
save.
like to self-report. I was given the answer and unintentionally didn't put it. T-Toms, listen. You only
put that comment up there so
Yeah,
everybody can see
yeah,
it.
put
Alex.
that out there. So right there. So, as the judge, jury, and executioner of Fish, North Georgia, I banish you. No commenting for 12 seconds.
12
There you go.
seconds, yeah.
12 seconds.
Starting 10
Starting
minutes ago.
10 minutes ago. No, I appreciate it. That's funny as hell, though. Would you? Let me ask you something. Let's be honest. Would you self-report something?
Probably.
Honestly.
I'm just too damn honest most of the time. I can't lie.
Okay, say something small. Now, if you're blowing through a no wake zone, yeah, I get it. Or you guys, but small thing. Small thing. Nobody in the world sees it. Just
Might
you
not
and
even
God.
think anything of it and be like, phew, man, I almost made him, I did kind of make a mistake. I can see that.
I don't want to sound. I'd have to be put in a situation. I'd like to think that I would self-report.
Something big, though.
Something big, you got to.
You're better to own up to it than suffer the consequences of getting busted.
If we're being honest, I mean, how many guys out there be like, it's just me in the boat? Now, we ain't talking about getting fish out of cages or shit. Like, I'm just talking about what's a very minor infraction. How about what about foul hooking?
Foul hooking.
Life jacket.
Life
jacket. Kill switch.
Kill switch. Life jacket.
Okay, so how many guys that I
Swindle
camera
reported for his life jacket, didn't he?
Who?
G-Man?
Yeah, but didn't he have a
Didn't he
marshal on?
self-report?
Did he have a marshal on? I know Will Harkins got
I
caught
don't know.
last year without it. And they took his fish. And then he had to start all over and he still had a hell of a finish. 6 fish in the live well. I
think Brian Latimer actually on one of his media platforms had said he got busted, no life jacket. I think taken off one day or something. It cost him a little bit.
I'm just wondering how many of us have actually, and maybe not in our club tournaments, but in the spirit of something, we broke a rule.
Oh, I'm sure everybody has at some point in time.
I'm sure you have. I mean, but here, this is my thing, and I do it. And I mean, you were in the boat with me.
Yeah.
The way I have to fish in a tournament is the way I fish when I'm practicing or when I'm out there every day. Before I ever get in a boat, I hook the kill switch up, life jacket in.
Yeah, my life jacket's sitting on the seat. I'll sit on it.
I said, now,
it's in my way.
If there's anything that I do that would be against the rules, and in the old days, it used to be when I remember them talking about on some podcast when they had Dewey Kendrick, who was before Trip Weldon at Bass. If guys loaded their boat without their life jacket on, he sent them home. The one thing I will do is because of my boat, it will slide. When I bump it, I'll leave it in gear, run up to the front, and clip it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That is the one thing I do. And I actually asked that years ago when we were fishing some bass events, and they said it was fine.
Yeah, and I mean, and I get it where Kevin says integrity. You have it or you don't. I understand, but I'm just saying it's a lot easier for a lot of guys to say, I will report. Yeah, I'll report.
Yeah. And we've seen a few of them do it. Wheeler did when he won that tackle warehouse up there on Chickamauga, he caught a 9 or 10 pounder and got excited. We made one cast, reeled it in, dropped his rod, and called tournament record. Cost him 2 pounds. So
And that should be the way.
it should be the way.
It should be the way. I know. Bottom line outdoors, integrity is everything. Richie Rock and Roll, my Van Halen buddy, says ignorance is one thing, but knowingly breaking rules is another.
It goes back to that intent thing.
It goes back to the
Intentionally.
intent thing. I get it. Pull up Tony's comment right there.
Tony.
I watched our tournament director break a rule in a tournament. His teammate didn't have the life jacket on as he, the director, started the big motor. I noticed but didn't report it. Not a huge deal. That's one of those that kind of goes to the area of like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know that there's a known angler in this neck of the woods that runs a tournament and got caught with a fishing license, an expired fishing license. He was the tournament director. He did not fine himself or DQ himself or anything because the game warden only gave him a warning. Now, where does that fall in line? You're fishing. It says in the rules you got to have the fishing license.
No, you should.
He didn't have it, but he did not DQ himself. Now you're fishing that. I agree with you too, Anthony. 100%. There's only one perfect person, and they crucified him. Absolutely, I agree with that. But
Amen.
this guy, I mean, how do you handle that? Now, again, we're talking small clubs. We're not talking these big MPFLs and none like that.
Ours, you had to have. That was one of our rules. You had to have a valid fishing license.
Yeah,
Okay, but if you saw that and they didn't,
is it in the rules that
Gotta have a license.
That if the DNR doesn't give you a ticket, that it doesn't matter?
No, it's
No.
no.
So
That's
yeah.
right. For sure, it says
Exactly.
you got to have a valid. He did not have a valid
It sounds
fishing
like,
license.
Must possess a valid
stinks to
fishing
me.
license.
Ouch! Got to DQ yourself for that one, Brian Marcus.
Yeah.
I ain't seen you in a
Stinks
while,
to
Brian.
me.
Glad you're alive, buddy. You come by and see me sometime. Okay, and I'm not calling out names or nothing, but that happened in a small club here in Georgia.
It does, and that's one of my. That's honestly with conservation and all the stuff, and I agree with all that stuff. That's my biggest beef. It's because I hold 5 states worth of licenses. 2 of them are lifetime, so I don't have to worry about them. But the other 3, they all expire on a different damn day.
Yeah.
That's the way mine
you,
are.
I promise you this: I have bought fishing license on the water
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
from my phone.
Because it's not standardized. It's not. Yeah.
And like Alabama's weird. It's like the last day of August.
Is
or
it the
something.
last day of August or the first day of September, somewhere like
Yeah,
that?
and then Georgia's like when you bought it the last time. Well, hell, I can't remember what I had for lunch. Much less when my license
And Georgia and
expired.
Alabama flip flopped on that.
Really.
Yeah, for years when I used to go and fish Weiss, they give you a little piece of paper and it ran out at noon on one day. There's times when I'd be pulling up to the marina in the boat, literally that morning, been fishing, and walk in there and get some snacks and stuff and purchase a new yearly fishing license to go out and fish for the second half of the day, believe it or not. That's how weird it was. And it was just a little square piece of paper.
Really.
Yeah, they checked boxes on it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: would you have DQ'd yourself if you were that tournament director and you fished the tournament? You were fishing the tournament without a valid license, and you got caught halfway through the tournament.
Being a director,
Yes.
yeah, in case if something else had came up with somebody else,
You got nothing to stand on.
and I got to go tell them, hey,
Yeah.
sorry, buddy, that was the biggest sack you ever caught in your life, but you're DQ'd because of this. And then they're like, well, you didn't do it to yourself.
100%. I agree. Now, pull up T-Toms right here. Why not have a commission of previous tournament experienced anglers to help make an unbiased decision? I understand unbiased is not everyone's favorite flavor. I've kind of thrown that out there. I've offered
Like a tribunal.
I've offered my services to all 3 major fishing circuits to be the commissioner.
Yeah.
I'll make those decisions.
Get a board of commissioners.
So
Yeah.
our
Odd
kayak
number.
trail has a board of different people from like all the big kayak shops.
Yeah.
And so if anything happens, then the decision will get made by them.
Okay, I get that. I still would do it, and I'll do it at a nominal price. You ain't got to pay me a lot, but I'd love to. I'm going to ask everyone this
You'd like to
question.
be the
You're
guy.
the commissioner, and you guys in the comment section, you're the commissioner. Matt Herron, do you DQ him?
I don't know the whole story.
So,
All I know is that he violated the information rule.
okay, overheard information, didn't solicit it, didn't use it, went and fished the other side of the lake. That's it in a nutshell. I don't think it was solicited. Was it? It wasn't
I don't
solicited.
know.
From what I hear, it's not
so
solicited.
it's your scenario.
My scenario.
So when he started listening, he could have walked off. He could have been like, I can't
You
listen to
gotta
this
stop
stuff
it.
and left.
You got to stop it. And
You're talking about the Martin
no,
incident?
No,
or
Heron.
was it-
Max.
Heron. Oh, I didn't read up a lot of the facts on that.
I
one.
didn't either. But if that's the case, I mean, and this is the part of the information rule that sucks a ton. And I think about it from the kids and the young people is when they see these guys at a gas station, they go pull in there. They can be a quart low on fuel, and they go put some gas in that truck so they can talk to these guys.
Oh yeah,
That's the part that really sucks about it, is because they can't walk up and tell them what kind of good day they just had on Gunnersville or Lanier or wherever it is, because they have to stop them.
they can't talk to the
They can't
celebrity or
talk.
their hero
Their
or
hero
favorite
or
guy.
the guy they look up to or the guy they model their fishing out to. For me, the information rule, that is the worst part of it. I wish they could find a way that they could still do that. Because that, like I said, those guys, like I said, they're going to pull in there and talk to them.
How about this? Let's pull up Jerry. We'll start with that. And I definitely know how Kevin feels about all this stuff. 100%. I'm just throwing out some devil advocate stuff tonight. Tournament director fishing a tournament has to put themselves beyond reproach when it comes to the rules of the tournament. I agree. It's almost like being an elder in a church. You're going to get held to a higher standard. So 100%. T-Toms, right below it. One thing that I think is going to help with this is the rule is a lot more public. This is my first season watching, and I had no idea that you couldn't give info out to your favorite anglers. 100%, you can't. You can't. You're not supposed to anyway. And then bottom line outdoors right here. Should repeat offenders face stronger penalties? In a kayak tournament this weekend, and several people were DQ'd for not having a 360 light. Now, you're the kayak guy. Is that a big thing there?
Well, I mean, you got to be safe, right?
Right.
You're launching out there. It's still dark outside. People need to be able to see you.
Yeah.
So,
Should repeat offenders face stronger penalties?
100%.
I agree with that.
And-
What if it's like, I don't think this has ever happened to Heron before, right?
A fine?
Yeah, fine or
a fine,
or
I think a
DQ'd,
fine.
then a fine, and if
Or just
3 strikes, you're out for the season.
yeah, or just say if
Yeah.
it's
Go
like
home.
something like that. Why not, instead of DQing the man since he didn't use the information, why not just dock him some weight?
I mean, you could, I guess. Like I said, not knowing the whole story,
Did he self-report? No.
Or
Or did they catch him on the lie detector?
lie detector?
Yeah, I think Heron had a lie detector.
Think it might run a different course
Glitch.
if
I still
you
don't think a lie
self-report.
detector should be used because it's not admissible in court.
Man, I don't know. If
somebody
you
gets
put me on the
super nervous,
spot like
some
that
things
and
go
I'm
kidding
lying
on
to you,
scene.
my heart's gonna start pounding.
Yeah, but what if you got what if you got a guy that's got like social anxieties, anything? It's just that's his nature.
Yeah, he's gonna be nervous wreck when they hook that machine.
I
up to him.
promise you, I could go through it. It looked like a daggone just flatline, baby. I'm a chameleon. I can be it, but not a lot of guys
Smooth
can.
Smooth. right
Matt
through it.
failed a polygraph, so that's right.
Yeah.
Pull up Tony's first one right there. You can tell Trump must be speaking. We lost some viewers right there. He must be doing the old speak. He's supposed to speak to the House and Senate tonight. Almost like a State of the Union, but not a State of the Union. In my situation, based on what I saw, the tournament director didn't even realize his partner hadn't put the life jacket on. I don't think either one of them realized. I was the only one I noticed.
Yeah, those 2 guys may have went the whole day and never even realized they did that.
That's true. Ooh, now pull up the one down at the bottom. Matt Heron failed the test 4 times before the truth came out.
See ya.
There's repetition.
You're a cop.
Yeah.
What's
four,
that tell
4
you?
times. Yeah, that's not good. That is basically he's busted.
I still don't trust the polygraph test.
No, but 4 failures
And then the truth
versus
came out.
1, and then maybe one says yes, one says no. Then you got to, okay, was it nervous? Was it operator error? Was it equipment malfunction?
I don't know. It's interesting. I still don't trust them things though.
I don't know. Like I said, I've met him a few times. He's always been polite to me, and
Nice guy.
yeah, like I said, he was always kind of that old guard that kind of did that. So it really surprised me, to be honest with you.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like this is not somebody that's had
No,
run-ins or played in the gray area.
no.
Or he hasn't been caught.
Listen at you back there. or he hasn't been caught.
or he
He's
hasn't
like
been
an
caught.
advocate back
He
there.
is-
He's
I
like,
mean, it's-
so what
Once you
if?
catch somebody cheating, man, it's
But is it technically cheating? The way his
look
went down?
when you get called in there for the lie detector, you should be given an opportunity. Like when you're sitting down,
Amnesty.
hey, this happened. I want to get it out in the air right now before we go in there and sit down, not fail the test 4 times and then tell the
But
truth.
is it cheating if he didn't use it? Like he didn't even fish where the person said all the fish were at. He went to the other side of the lake. Is it now? Listen, I get what you're saying.
How do
I'm
you
just
know?
asking: is it really cheating?
How does anybody know where he fished at? Did he have somebody in the boat with him?
Well, he went to the other side, and the information that he overheard was about a place on the other side of the lake. This is the story I'm going. I'm just trying to.
It's all in the language. Does it just say obtaining information and using? Or does it just say obtaining information? So if you just obtain information, theoretically you've broken
Boom.
it
So,
right
yeah, I
there.
mean,
but if it
well,
says
yeah,
if it's
you've got-
used,
He's got plenty of opportunities to come clean.
For a
Right.
polygraph to be given properly, a questionnaire is given prior to the test.
yeah, Tony's right. They don't just go in there and start blindsiding you. You're going to answer a set of questions, and you're either going to answer those same questions before the machine's hooked up and then when it's hooked up, or they're going to give you 20 or 30 and pull 10 out of there and ask you but you've already answered them sitting there allegedly.
I've
not
never had a
under stress.
polygraph. I don't know. So
I've took one of those and a voice stress
Rules are rules.
analyzing test. It's
rules are rules.
weird.
Yep.
So you
If
are
you-
a young Kevin Thornton because I can tell you about Kevin's coming.
voluntarily are fishing in that tournament.
Huh?
You are voluntarily fishing in that tournament and putting up or not putting up your own money anymore, I guess. But I mean,
Right.
you still
Oh,
are.
some of them still pay. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
So
What would you have done on the
follow
life?
the
Okay.
rules.
What would you have done on the life jacket? The life jacket thing with Tony.
What's the penalty? What's their penalties? Well, I mean,
Let's just
if
say it's a DQ. The tournament director starts the boat up. His partner doesn't have his life jacket on. He didn't notice it. Do you DQ the partner? Do you DQ the tournament director? If it's a team thing, do you DQ the team?
I mean,
If rules are rules, do you DQ
You bring it to attention. It's not you're not the tournament director, so you don't get to DQ anybody. So, but you bring it to their
But how
attention.
does the tournament director? If it's him, he should then.
He's
well,
got to be held to the same standard.
Oh.
Everyone has to be held to
Listen,
the same
I'm just playing
standard.
devil's advocate.
If I get caught out there in the kayak with my life jacket off and I'm fishing and I'm not just taking my sweater off or something like that, I'm out. I'm DQ'd.
Okay, I got it. Then here's my question to all you guys: do we speed? Do we do other things outside of fishing where we kind of break the rules, but there's no DQs and none of that? So are we totally have 100% integrity while fishing, but no integrity off the water?
I definitely didn't get pulled over for speeding a couple weeks ago on my way here.
I'm just saying with some of these things.
You
I
have brought
get it.
up one good devil's advocate there. It's like, well, everybody
Yeah.
plays in the gray,
Yeah,
so to speak.
There's a book called The Everyday Felon.
The everyday felon. That's
It
true.
says most
Yeah.
people commit 3 felonies before they even get to work and they don't even know it.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying is like, okay, we hold everybody up to this standard while they're fishing because rules are rules. But how many of us will pull our cell phone up while we're driving? And I mean, there's gray areas, I think. I don't think you should get a ticket for some things that you can get a ticket for. I just don't think you should be DQ'd for certain infractions.
Right.
Let's say they're still breaking the rule, but I don't, this.
No, I agree.
I
with
think the
that.
punishment doesn't
Certain
always
in-
fit the crime. How about
certain
that?
infractions.
True.
But when you're given the questionnaire and you're given multiple opportunities to bring stuff to light before you go take the lie detector test, then it sheds a bad light on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think it goes on history too. I mean, even Swindle had mentioned at one point about having, I forgot what podcast he was on. It might have been the Zaldane one, the
Mhm.
deals or whatever, where he talked about having a panel of 4 or 5 people for every tournament.
Yeah.
And to go in, and his thing is, like you said, look at the intent of the rule. Was he trying to gain a competitive advantage when he forgot to put his life jacket on when he idled across the cove? Obviously not.
Basically, have it go before a review board,
Right.
Okay, so Brian Marcuse.
preferably an odd number.
Brian Marcusino, what about launching the boat? If I walk to the dock and get in a running boat, get in, and then put my life jacket on, did I break the rule? It's a good question.
That is a good question.
Technically,
Technically, you did, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be on when you start the.
Listen, I don't,
But I see this. I see a lot of those guys, especially in the winter on tournament morning, on different platforms, major platforms. They're out there with them idling because you're not going to fire it up and take off. Ask my buddy about that. It costs him a new Mercury.
Yeah.
But they'll leave them running while they're in the cove or whatever. So I don't know if there's a caveat in there for stuff like that or not. I don't know.
Kevin, I know where Thornton's going to stand on this regardless. So hopefully,
I feel the same way.
Hopefully,
about
I'm getting fired up just playing with him like that. You're right. You're not competing against other drivers for money. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I think a DQ is a little harsh. I think more maybe a fine or you lose some weight.
Fine or penalty.
Fine or penalty. Tony Hall, though, pull up that next one down below him. Despite claims that polygraph tests are between 80% and 90% accurate by advocates, the National Research Council has found no evidence of effectiveness.
Right. That's why they're not admissible in court anymore.
Look at Kevin goes, I am. Look, I'm getting fired up. Oh, it's so much fun. Okay, so if it's I don't know. I just think there's better ways. Now, does the NPFL, the MLF, Bassmaster, are they all pretty much are they kind of consistent with their penalties across the board? I'm not as much into the history of it. Have they all showed to be about the same in delving out penalties?
I don't know because they've not the only ones you ever hear about are like the big ones. Like something like this.
Yeah.
You don't ever hear much about the fines and things like that. So.
Well, so there was something about even in the elites the other day, there was a couple of people blew no wake zones and they got slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
I think it's good if you had a scale that says, hey, for this to this, you get this first offense, second offense, third offense.
Yeah. Look at what Brian threw in there. Perhaps the technicality is the tournament hasn't started yet. So if they haven't blasted off boat one, have you broken the rule yet?
No.
Could be. The boat's also secured to the dock when you're going and getting in it, so it's not.
There's
not under power.
always a little loophole or something.
For that one, I know when I fished some of those bass events, when we got in it, you better have it on.
You better have it on when you got it in.
Yeah. It was once you were weighed in, they gave you some leniency because a lot of times, we had co-anglers, but a lot of times the boater was kind of having to do both duties if they couldn't back the boat up or whatever. And you could do that.
So your best practice at that would be to just put your life jacket on before launching and wear it until you get to your first fishing.
Yeah, and so Anthony says
then you got to remember the kill switch.
Right.
Different tournaments either have engine running or on plane. And then good point right there. But I guess one could argue you've already paid in. Now you are under the rules the second you paid in. It's a very interesting question, and it's something that the clickbait guys can argue about a lot more. But I don't understand. Brad from the NPFL suggested they should partner with Bass and MLF to have the same rules. Now, that throws up a whole nother different kind of caveat right there. Would Bassmaster, being the granddaddy of them all, actually want to pair up with what they think are lesser organizations? I don't think they're you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like we don't want to be.
Yeah, but I think that would be a good idea because now we got so much cross fishing and all this stuff, and we've had that for years too. But I think it would be good it'll have it's the same set of rules doesn't matter where
standardized rules
but I agree
across
with
the
Paul,
sport.
it'll never happen.
Why do you think will never happen?
I just don't think it will. Not after the split and all the stuff.
Too much bad blood, too much ego in that.
I just they want to do their own thing, and like I said, rules are one thing. Like penalties, that would probably be up to the leagues. But I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, it really is pretty good.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: is there a rule in professional tournament fishing or even local tournament fishing right now that you think is just a terrible rule you'd like to see go away? What about the weighing in of dead fish? Bass allows you to weigh in more than I know some local tournaments.
Dead fish shouldn't be allowed at all.
No.
That'd be tough.
Mm-mm.
What do you do? Because we're not allowed to cull a dead fish.
I agree with that one.
We're not allowed to cull a dead fish, so you have to weigh a dead fish. Now we get penalized, but
I
you're not
think
allowed to cull
I think the penalty should be pretty stiff.
on a dead fish.
On a dead fish. Maybe it's a little stiffer than what
The,
it is.
the
Well,
culling thing goes back. If I'm not mistaken, Georgia law says you're not supposed to. If you've caught fish in your creel limit, which would still stand for the tournament, 5 fish, you're actually breaking a state law by throwing it back in the water.
Really?
That's the reason that rules in most of your tournaments.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
See, I learned something here tonight.
Yeah, so they kind of stuck with that one because it's, or either don't ask, don't tell, however that works out. But, you know.
What would be, okay, so what would be a penalty for a dead fish? What do you think would be? Most of them are like half a pound.
I'd say.
What do you guys get? Well, you don't do it in the
Fish
kayak.
is DQ'd.
The fish is DQ'd if it's dead.
Yep.
How do you tell if? How do you guys tell if you're just taking pictures? How
You
can
can
they
really
tell?
tell by
Yeah,
the
no
eyes.
joke.
Huh?
You can really tell by the eyes.
Right.
If their eyes are
How do you
glazed.
kill a fish on a kayak?
You throw a hook 'em or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but he ain't dead by the time you let him go.
Somebody been hauling that joker around a little while.
Or you're
What'd you
pulling
hit
up
him
to
with
the
the
boat
paddle?
ramp. Or you're pulling up to the boat ramp and a tournament of boats just got done dumping a bunch of fish in the water, and you find a dead floater that's huge, and you throw it on your measuring board and take a picture.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Technically, it counts as a caught fish, doesn't it?
Yeah, but now also in the KBF, for like a big fish, they're doing release videos because people will share fish. So guys will be out there fishing with their buddy, and they'll catch a fish. They'll take their pictures. They'll hand it off to their buddy, and he'll take the fish and he'll take his pictures.
Cheating in the kayak world.
How do you know
yeah.
this, Alex?
Huh? Because the rule, the rule that they dropped
Bass boat.
for fish sharing, and I was like,
We ain't figured that out yet.
Fish sharing.
Yep.
Okay. Well, so Kevin put in you should be allowed 1 dead fish with a penalty 4 ounces. Very specific. What would you be?
I would go higher.
I think ours is a half pound.
Is it half pound?
I'd go a pound.
I've
I think where I used to, the group I used to fish with is 8 ounces.
Well, I've seen
Paul
some
says,
rules
"See,
that
that's
say a
cheating."
pound.
100%.
Yeah. What would you do if you caught?
That's why when you guys see me fishing in tournaments, you don't see me fishing with people.
To prevent you from sharing.
To
Or-
prevent anything from ever being said about me catching something, because I generally in tournaments I don't do very well,
Right.
but one day I'm gonna.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And I don't want it to raise any questions. Oh, he only did because he was fishing with so and so and they were helping him.
Okay. Our club is 1 pound.
That's what I've usually read in most tournament rules. And you read
Most
down
of them
through
are
there, it says a
either
pound.
4, 8, or a pound.
Yeah.
Well, maybe ours is a pound.
Yeah, on Weedawee, Tony, that pound hurt you.
Oh,
Weedawee.
yeah.
We.
Hold
Oh,
on.
we.
Wee,
On
wee,
the
Tony.
we. That's a lot. Got to protect yourself, Alex. Like
Yeah,
that.
100%.
Let's see. Throwed it past this weekend in Thompson Creek, and it was stained and nothing. Todd, I tell you what.
Thompson Creek's been tough.
Have y'all noticed a lot of the lakes this year staying dirtier than normal?
After this most recent,
Just for
Coming
a
through?
lot. I mean, like we talked about the other night, Latham has been dirty forever. And
I
it
haven't
doesn't
been
normal.
on Latham since the
There
4th
has
of
been a lot
July.
more sediment moving in the lakes for some reason.
Yeah, have you
You
noticed that?
think we can blame it on the weather, but still, it's like it always rains periodically.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so MPFL, you got any I don't know, thoughts on how it's going to go down? A favorite?
Welch would be hard to bet against. Patrick is probably the outright favorite, even without scope.
How do you think he'll fish it?
Moving baits.
Moving baits.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Watson had a good finish last time he was there.
James?
He did. James had a good finish last time he was there. I think he was throwing chatterbait or something. It was, but I mean, he fishes that lake pretty well. So
Okay.
it'll be interesting.
All right. What else you guys want to talk about? Or do we want to go home and watch the end of Trump? Huh?
Your show.
Is that
I
night?
think a lot of folks are watching it from the numbers, but
Well, I tell you what, be honest with you, like I'm sick.
Danny doesn't feel good.
No.
He didn't feel good when I got here
I
today.
ain't felt good. So I tell you what, I think we're going to end 30 minutes early tonight. We'll make up for it on
That's
Thursday
fair enough.
night. But it will be interesting to keep up with the MPFL this week and just see what they're going to do and everything. So, yeah, we'll do that. You guys that have hung around, hey, we love you guys and all that. But I've already told everybody, like, I don't even know if I'm going to come to work tomorrow. I'm like, Trump is just getting warmed up. So there we go. We got time.
All
and
right.
that.
Thanks, Anthony.
He's double dipping.
Double up. Anyway, guys, listen. Hey, we appreciate you guys and love the fact that you guys. Oh, Randy Moore. Let me read Randy.
Uh-oh.
MLF banned James Watson and he did not cheat. He complained about Boyd's angler that he sponsors that failed the polygraph. Had the angler that failed been DQ'd, Watson would have moved into the cut. It's a whole different ball game right there. I don't know how to play that.
So you're
Polygraph.
claiming a political strike on that one.
They done threw out the rep Al Green already. Maybe that's what's going on. We'll have to. I tell you what, we'll
People
bring
getting
that.
tossed?
We'll bring that up on Thursday night because
Yeah.
they're kicking people out in Congress tonight like this. Okay, listen, you guys have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you Thursday if I feel better like that. So appreciate it. We're going to end it tonight right there. We're going home. So love you guys. Y'all have a great rest of your evening. We're out of here.